up somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that music, whenever you hear that theme song, you know it's past the time for me to say greetings to the world. And I say, good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good night to the entire Caribbean region. Like I said, good night to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web, my Straight Dog family, and we reach you all over the diaspora, wherever you are. Some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And my Straight Dog family, I normally get first timers as well, and I thank those of you who continue to share the link, because when you do so, we do get first timers. And for the first timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, continue to strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis to that enviable position we once were as being one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Dog family, on yet another occasion. And I continue to pledge always to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded of that favorite hymn of mine. I am familiar with that excerpt, which goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and for the right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. And my Straight Talk family, especially for the first timers, I wish to assure you, and for those who are with me all times, I wish to reassure you that absolutely nothing is watered down here on this program. We never try to make it more interesting, not by omission or exaggeration. Because Straight Talk is not about sensationalism, not at all, or about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy. Because we always lean on the facts. It is my duty to present the unvarnished truth, I call it, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, transparency, and integrity in St. Kitts and Nevis, and a matter of fact, wherever you are in the world. As this program joins us together with people across the Federation, through this program we are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well and have met, others we do not know and may very well never meet. And some will agree with the positions of truth we advance on this program called Straight Talk, and some will disagree. And that's acceptable, that's fine, because we promote what I call a diversity of views. Everyone has their opinion, have their views. Your opinions are not facts, though. So what will sadden me, my Straight Dog family, is if we ever start to become disagreeable. In the interim and in the meanwhile, let's just thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praises together. And for the first time, I must also inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. Numbers are there on your monitors. You can see them clearly. And I know that some of you don't like or don't want your voices to be heard, especially here in St. Kitts, where people are so vindictive, people are afraid. So we give you access via our email platform. And that address is also on your monitors, on your screens there. It's one word, straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. And how about those who have the Alexa app? We are also heard live on Alexa. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. We thank that owner for facilitating us at a moderate cost as well. And there are some of you who have made donations to support our efforts. I'll never forget you here on Straight Talk. And I therefore wish to say a big thank you to all. There are no limits to the amount of donations you make or the quantum, the amount, the total, however small rather, I should say, your contribution is. We welcome it because it helps us to continue these important discussions. We're not dictating that you give us $1, $2, or $5 or $100. Whatever the thoughts are, be accepted because it helps to defray our costs, maintain our commitment to public service. So others who wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. It's a very, very simple process. So we thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And I must say a special welcome to my junior brigade. You know, I'll get into trouble if I don't hail my junior brigade. And there are two young ones. I always keep forgetting them. One is my grandson, Neymar, and the other is his friend, Saraya. Saraya, I met her yesterday, and she reminded her mother that tomorrow is Thursday, and we have to listen to Straight Talk early. So, Saraya, if you're already in tune, good night to you. And Neymar as well. For young Dwayne, Tristan, as always reminds his mom as well. Shama, Kevin Hanley in Nevis. I trust that school went well at the Charleston High School, Kevin. Young Ru Costa as well in, is it South Carolina? Trust you're still on the honors roll. Travis and Travon, I haven't seen you for some time. Going there to the ICS, it's called, right? From over there in Ponds Extension. Did I say Jamal from Anguilla? And that special lady in St. Louis as well. How is the Texas Queen? Also, we say greetings to all the young ones. I don't call some because I didn't get the parental approval. But the young brigade, there are many. And my Straight Talk family, on a somber note tonight, over the last few weeks, we have, as a federation, been mourning the loss of several sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers because of accidents on our roads. And there are all sorts of reasons why they happen. These road fatalities, as they are classified. Just yesterday morning, was it? Learned that some 5 persons have died as a result of an accident across here at New Guinea. A couple days before that, either 2 or 3 persons died, young persons. But something strange happened to me yesterday, and we want to extend condolences, first of all, to the families of those who have lost loved ones, especially those in these road accidents. Sometimes they wonder, where the hell are we going? We're just going down the road and we're hitting that 90 or 80 or 60, and the speed limit is 20 miles per hour. I know sometimes I go beyond that myself. But why is it necessary to be all over and we're just speeding? And I used to be Minister of Public Utilities, Public Works. And there are the issues of road markings. We never got a budget to mark the roads. And the roads need marking. All over need marking. We travel and there are miles and kilometers, thousands of kilometers of roads, and they're marked. Why we just have 32 miles or just 100 miles stretch of roads and we can't get them marked? So something needs to be done about that, the signs on these roads as well. Because we are promoting tourism, my Straight Talk family. But something strange happened to me yesterday. While surfing social media, I came across the terrible news about the Liburd general and foot soldier Bugna. I say something strange, and let me say why. Because I mentioned to someone on the weekend that I have not seen Bugna for a long while, and was told that he now sells on the bypass road, is it the F.T. Williams Highway. And Tuesday afternoon I was driving along the highway and I saw a tent, attempted to stop, but on getting close I recognized it was someone else sitting and not the General Bugna. Only to find that the following day, yesterday, I learned sadly that the foot soldier and Liburd general has gone to the great beyond. And how he died is really not important at this point in time, because he's not Jesus. So we won't sing "Up from the grave he arose." So let us reconcile in our minds that we will never again see Bugna physically. For that reason, I must pay a short tribute to a real patriot and friend who had his faults, and we all do, but who believed in his country. We always exchange our views from time to time on a regular and friendly basis, my Straight Talk family. Be they political and or otherwise, Bugna, the Liburd general, would always send me my morning greetings from time to time. I recall messages like this one, when I would, so to speak, try to get our Prime Minister in line, the nonsense he continues to do. And Bugna would send me messages like this one on your screen. "Leave the damn doctor. Good morning, Sir Ian Patches." And that's the way we lived. That's the way we live, my Straight Dog family. And he always encouraged me, as you see there, you need to come home to Red Labor. And he sent this note as well, which I came across just yesterday, which reads, "Once you understand the power of your words, you won't just say anything. Once you understand the power of your thoughts, you won't think just anything. And once you understand the power of your presence, you won't just be anywhere." And he would give me his progress reports on the works he is doing there at the waterfront, my Straight Talk family, with all his flags. And as I said, he did them. What Bugna did, he did it from his heart and love for his government and country. And all he would ask for is a nation to buy his flags. At least that's all he asked me for. And even though as a foot soldier, he felt ignored but was excited when I promised to lobby for him to play a role as ambassador of the streets. I can't find that PowerPoint here, but he responded, "That would be awesome." But that would never be, as the Liburd general and foot soldier Bugna, Mr. Edwards, has gone to the great beyond. So condolences are extended to his mother, his brother, and entire family. And I hope and pray that his soul will rest in eternal peace. The foot soldier, Liburd general, we will see you no more in this part of the vineyard. But my Straight Talk family, we usually begin as well with our observations and review, which are an integral part to Straight Talk. Then we move into our thesis. Following our thesis will include your calls, your emails, as mentioned earlier, to allow your full participation. Because, yes, you get an opportunity to have your say right here on Straight Talk. And after observations and review, we will begin our thesis for tonight, which is titled, Where There's Smoke, There's Fire. Shutdown Cabinet. So please don't change your platform, your link. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, on your YouTube and Facebook platforms. And our first observation, my Straight Talk family, brings me to the Social Security Board, and briefly the Social Security investment loans to the Development Bank and other statutory bodies. Because Prime Minister Dr. July seems quite obsessed with the Social Security Board and the Development Bank, but has in a calculated way avoided making mention of other statutory corporations or bodies on St. Kitts Nevis, like the National Housing Corporation, the National Housing and Land Development Corporation, I think it's called in Nevis, and others. And Dr. July, for the past 2 years and more, continued to speak from a point of ignorance. Yes, he continues to speak from a point of ignorance, which is not good for these institutions, nor for the country. The Prime Minister cannot even differentiate from a creditor or a debtor. And this is sad for someone who speaks as the Minister of Finance, and worse yet, as our Prime Minister. It took me aback when I heard him say this, my Straight Talk family.
Social Security was in the negative in the year 2022. That Social Security were not getting any payments from its biggest creditor. Is it creditor or debtor? Which one? Or the same thing?
Hasn't a clue whether a debtor and or a creditor are different in any way. And that's so sad, my Straight Talk family. But it is sad as he continues to bring these important institutions into disrepute. But for the sake of clarity and information and facts, in 2015, when the Team Unity administration assumed office, we, and I say we as a cabinet, as a collective, we found that several loans were procured by the Development Bank from the Social Security Board, which they normally classify as investments. And these loans amounted to approximately $130 million and were then consolidated, put together as one. Over the years, as the reports were presented to the cabinet, we learned that the Development Bank had always serviced their loans, or their loan, because it was consolidated as one loan, with timely installments. But then came COVID-19. You remember that coronavirus pandemic, which shut down the entire world. The whole world came to a halt, a virtual halt. So obviously, most small businesses in St. Kitts Nevis, students and other individuals were badly affected, impacting their ability to repay their loans. And this happened even with the big commercial banks. And as a result, all financial institutions, including the Development Bank, were given, I believe it was a 2-year moratorium or grace period, I believe, to repay their loans. And this was approved by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And on a point of further information, all development bank loans from Social Security were always guaranteed by the federal government of St. Kitts and Nevis. The records will show that the management and board of Social Security were always in discussion with the bank regarding the timely repayment of the loan. Perhaps they should have done the same to ensure that Garth, Lucifer Wilkin, and others paid their contributions on time according to the law. But the St. Kitts and Nevis Social Security Board, since its establishment, and especially during the Labour government administration, or during the Labour administration, I should say, the Douglas Labour administration, it has always provided investment loans not only to the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, but also to other statutory bodies, including the National Housing Corporation, SCASPA, the Nevis Housing Authority, the NIA, and other related government institutions. Funds utilized to promote or were utilized to promote economic growth and development in St. Kitts Nevis, including support for housing and small business development, agricultural and educational projects, infrastructure and community development, promoting renewable energy and environmental sustainability projects, healthcare and social services, also tourism and cultural heritage projects. Now, these loans have been instrumental in driving various development initiatives across the Federation and contributing to the overall economic and social well-being of St. Kitts and Nevis, and of course is delivered as an investment strategy of the Social Security Board. Development Bank, I recall, under the Team Unity administration, introduced a Fresh Start program for small businesses that were allowed to borrow up to $100 million US dollars. That's 270 million EC dollars. And there's a certain political leader and lawyer who was the first beneficiary of that facility. But she remains quiet like a church mouse, if that's the right saying, while Dr. July spits his nonsense dribble about the Development Bank. She says absolutely nothing. And my Straight Dog family, the chairman, the board, and the new CEO are just as bad to remain silent and be party to this nonsense being peddled by this pathological liar, Terence Michael Drew. He says things like this, my Straight Dog family.
Bank in trouble, Social Security in trouble, CBI in trouble, all sorts of things in trouble, Madam Speaker. We went from a deficit to a surplus, Madam Speaker. And it's because, again, I want to really congratulate Mrs. Harris and her excellent board at Social Security, and also to recognize the CEO, Mr. Lord, and his team who had Social Security working. And as you know, they have been going around the country to update the country as to the changes we need in order to keep Social Security on good footing, Madam.
My Straight Dog family, Social Security is on good footing. And we cannot expect better from the CEO, who Dr. July handpicked, gave him a salary of some $25,000 per month, and a vehicle costs over $300,000 to drive. Yes, my Straight Dog family, this is what the CEO drives at our expense, you and I. So he is loyal to his political boss and not to the contributors to the Social Security Fund that pay his salary and his perks. Because he drives in luxury, my Straight Dog family. A vehicle costing well over $300,000, as I said. So he's not worried. He is loyal to his political boss, my Straight Talk family. And Straight Talk provided before information on some of the loans disbursed by the Social Security Board as of September 2022 and distributed all across various institutions, my Straight Talk family. And you can see that those loans on your monitor. The National Housing Corporation, SCASPA, my Straight Talk family, the NIA, the Nevis Housing Corporation, or Land and Development Corporation, and the other investments, my Straight Talk family, all coming from the Social Security Board. So the attacks by Terence Michael July on the St. Kitts and Nevis Social Security Board are therefore baseless, unprecedented, alarming, and irresponsible. And like I said before, Terence Michael July continues to bring the Social Security Board into disrepute unnecessarily based on his foolish nonsense rhetoric and in his Facebook posts and media interviews, my Straight Talk family. The audited financial statements for the Social Security Board for the years 2021, 2022, and 2023 are all already audited. 2021, my Straight Talk family, is on your monitors, as well as the actuarial review covering the period 2021, January 2021 to December 2023, should be laid in Parliament and published on the Social Security Board's website immediately as required by law. It is worth noting that all accounts, including the monthly financial statements, were up to date when the Team Unity government or administration left office. And you can see the December 2021 accounts audited, and they obviously, according to law, will be audited in 2022 by the late June. And government change in August. So the incumbent chair, Janice Harris, signed this, as you can glean from the screen, in November it is, in 2022. So these should have been tabled, and we know Straight Talk has the information for a fact that the accounts for 2022 are audited and for 2023 are audited, because as prescribed by the legislation, they shall be audited by June of the ensuing year. And my Straight Talk family, the last actuarial review from 2018 to 2020, and you can glean from your statement I just put up, which was published under the Team Unity government, showed the fund standing at over $1.7 billion, with an increase of over $300 million in recent years prior to 2022. And the last actuarial review also indicated that the fund gained an extra 2 years of sustainability, making it the most viable fund per capita in the entire Eastern Caribbean. And they ought to table the financial statements, Dr. July, and the last actuarial review, and stop embarrassing the office of the Prime Minister. My Straight Talk family, my second observation has to do with a communication that I received from a member of the Straight Talk family, which was sent to me. And this was sent to me a few days ago. And just like this member of our Straight Talk family, I laughed when I read the content of this plaque, as the slow student would have never picked up these spelling errors, these spelling mistakes. And my Straight Talk family, this is who represents us locally and internationally as Deputy Prime Minister. I didn't expect better, so I won't say too much about this except to say that Jeffrey was the one who told us himself that he was a slow student. Remember, he said this, my Straight Talk family.
I told you how I started off as a slow student. I went to 1A4, 2A4, 3G7, 4G6, 5th form, 5G6. And guess what? I repeated. So I was in school for quite a while.
So my Straight Talk family, why should I or anyone else be surprised by this dotish representative of East Bassett Hill? Because there are those who celebrate his achievements or attainment, and I suggest his journey through the 3 stages of his life should be a case study in our schools to demonstrate that in his infant stage he was dotish, so too in his adolescent stage. And we asked the question, did Jeffrey get a brain transplant in his final stage, to which is an adult stage, and somehow a sudden academic transformation? From a dotish, inept or underperforming student in childhood and adolescence into an accomplished individual attaining a doctorate in philosophy. Suffice to add, what you see, my Straight Talk family, is what you get. And those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I move right into my thesis. As I said, for those who may have just joined me, I have titled, Where There's Smoke, There's Fire. And last Tuesday afternoon, there was a sudden disruption of our electricity supply in St. Kitts, only to learn shortly thereafter that there was an island-wide outage. Then came an announcement on social media from the SOCA engineer and minister responsible for Skellig, beg your pardon, Congress Maynard. But it's what the SOCA engineer said about our standard operating procedure, the SOP, that left many people furious, my Straight Talk family. He said this, my Straight Talk family.
Like has advised that they're doing what is called a controlled shutdown of their generators because some of the workers here smelled something that could resemble smoke or something burning. So out of an abundance of caution, they have taken everything offline, closed down the generators, and the fire services department is here to help with the investigation as per standard procedure.
Something smelled like smoke. So you need a smoke engineer for the future, my Straight Talk family. But taking a whole country offline and plunging its people into darkness, standard operating procedures or precautionary measures that are taken according to the SOCA engineer. But what about the people who have since August 2022 smelled something that could resemble smoke or something burning and are sensing something bad or problematic, such as crime and violence, political turmoil, poor decision-making, or impending disaster? What about people whose lives have been plunged into darkness? And we know that where there's smoke, there's fire. And my Straight Talk family, I reflected on 1993. Bottles and stones rained on the streets of Bassett Hill. Remember that, my Straight Talk family? How many of you remember this?
I am proud to be a member of the People's Revolutionary Committee in 1993. Douglas came in after the Nevis situation at the hotel agreement, because the power was in the hands of the People's Revolutionary Committee. It was a coup. We overthrew the government.
That was back then in 1993, my Straight Dog family. This past weekend, if you're following the international news, my Straight Dog family, thousands of miles away in Syria, a country located on the east coast of the Mediterranean Sea in southwestern Asia, saw the flight of its leader Bashar al-Assad to Moscow as armed groups from Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, joined by groups from near Dara, stormed into Damascus and overran the Syrian Arab army in a stunning fashion. Assad's flight ended 54 years of rule by his family and 62 years of Ba'athist rule. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, my Straight Dog family, we have only had 2.5 years of a July administration, and everyone is crying out for change. The total contempt shown to people is disgusting. Residents in East Bastia, for example, raised concerns about the location of a desalination plant, sandwiched by 2 fuel installations. And you know what was the response? The response, my Straight Dog family, was to go on site and put up these pictures instead of dealing with the issues. Aren't they obligated to address our concerns? And they started doing work after months of doing nothing, just because Straight Talk exposed them. And my Straight Talk family, the high cost of living is hurting everyone in the country. And who remembers what Dr. July promised in opposition? And by the way, this desalination plant, as I said, is sandwiched by Delta Petroleum to the southeast and Sol to the east. But remember, going back to the cost of living, my Straight Dog family, which is hurting everyone in St. Kitts and Nevis. Who remembers what Dr. Terence Michael July promised? He promised this, my Straight Dog family.
But the way the cost of living is, everything going up, and the government has not really have not really responded appropriately to deal with the high cost of living. People are paying too much for too many things, for basic things. And you see, Ike, that is why during the last election, before when the COVID hit, and the Prime Minister was asked, where's the food? He said the boats are coming. And we had developed a dependency on imported food and never really took the opportunity to really produce food here to ensure that we can manage our prices and to have a constant supply. If those boats had stopped come for any reason during the COVID-19, we would have been dealing with real severe shortages of food here. And that is why food security and agriculture and food production will also be a hallmark of our program that we will present to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
That's what he promised. But that's exactly what's happening now. My Straight Dog family, the boats are still coming. Terence Michael July promised that food security will be a hallmark of his administration. Perhaps he meant Tabasco peppers would be a hallmark of his administration. Because he said this just recently.
Our agricultural sector is also undergoing a transformation as we seek to reduce our dependency on imports and empower our local farmers. In this regard, we have partnered with Tabasco to provide our farmers with an unprecedented opportunity to cultivate high-quality peppers for export. Your government has secured the necessary equipment and location to support this initiative, ensuring that our farmers can benefit from this lucrative global market.
But ask yourselves, my Straight Dog family, how the hell can we reduce our dependency on imports by planting peppers. Terence Michael July has gone back to the plantocracy. And back in those days, we picked cotton, then cut sugarcane, and now we've gone back to picking peppers. But my Straight Talk family, I have come to tell you tonight that changing the course of this country requires collective action, persistence, and courage. Terence Michael July and his cabinet need to be replaced. And the task may seem daunting, but history shows us that movements driven by concerned citizens can create a meaningful change. What's most important is to begin with small, actionable steps. Keep pushing forward and build a strong, informed network of like-minded individuals who are also committed to making a difference. The smell of smoke is like sensing something bad or problematic, such as political turmoil, poor decision-making, or impending disaster. It clearly expresses the fact that things are going wrong, and a shutdown of cabinet must be seen as a consequence of the failure or mismanagement of this July administration. We are facing a deeply troubling situation in St. Kitts and Nevis, where poor decision-making, a lack of transparency, and questionable governance are creating significant challenges for us as a people. The feeling of something burning symbolizes a sense of corruption or mismanagement, particularly in relation to the funds raised through the Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI. The government lacks leadership and accountability, and that erodes public trust and has led to a sense of helplessness amongst the citizens. The CBI program, which was designed to attract foreign direct investment in exchange for citizenship, is no longer a potential source of revenue. All because of one convicted fraudster who was approved as the first public benefactor. My Straight Talk family, yes, he was. Would you believe this? Under the PBO, this convicted fraudster was allotted 300 units at $175,000 per unit. And that would give us US $52.5 million, or EC $142 million. Read the third paragraph, my Straight Dog family. It's the third paragraph from the bottom coming up. MSR hotels, 300 public benefit units valued at US $175,000 per unit, a total capital value of 55 or 52.5 thousand, what am I saying? $52.5 million. And my Straight Talk family, Philippe Martinez bought the OTI hotel for $3 million US dollars, or $8 million. So he's in. If he was smart and could have marketed his project, he would have made well over $100 million on this one project. And you hear him talking about corruption. Read about the movies, my Straight Dog family. MSR Media, 45 public benefit units valued at $175,000 per unit for each, underline that, my Straight Dog family, each of the 6 movies produced in 2021. So he's getting retroactive payment. He's earning. And then for each of the 7 movies to be produced in 2024, a total capital of $102 million, my Stray Dog family. It goes on. MSR Media, St. Kitts Nevis, 20 public benefit units valued at $175,000 per unit for each of the 8 television episodes to be produced in 2024, a total capital value of $28 million. My Stray Dog family, what else did this convicted fraudster want from St. Kitts and Nevis? Instead of getting the hotel up and running, as till today, the OTI, renamed the MSR Hotels, is still closed. And instead of getting the hotel up and running, selling his units, the crook is trying to extort money from the country and from Caribbean Galaxy. Whether we like to hear it or not, Caribbean Galaxy that came to St. Kitts, I think, in 2013, has already delivered, my Stray Dog family. Caribbean Galaxy has already delivered a 200 or 300 room hotel, costing, I understand, over US $400 million. The Ramada Resort, my Stray Dog family, is there. They have already delivered that project from their own money. That is performance. But I have to talk the truth, and straight talk will bring the facts. And the French crook don't like that. So he attacks your program, my Stray Dog family, and he tries to intimidate me. Intimidate Patches? A French crook could intimidate Patches? No way, my Stray Dog family, no way.
Speaking of that, I want to give a message to the Mr. Jan Patches and Mr. Wally at the St. Kitts Times and every social commentator. We record and watch everything that you say. We have never responded to the fake news and fake allegation that you said. But I do believe that you love your country and you have a moral responsibility. So let me give you one message. How do you think that you got the investment contract between MSR and the government? I sent it to you. I sent it to someone close to you and told him, send it. Because I believe that the day of transparency has now started. And we have to release everything. And I got nothing to hide. So when you go on your Straight Talk family and say, oh, we have the information, you have the information because of me. I gave you that. And if you want to call me Jan Patches, I can give you more information that will make you very humble. Very humble. You, the social commentator in St. Kitts and Nevis, you now have a moral responsibility to stop with the fake news, to stop with the tribal politicum, to protect that candidate over that candidate, because right now, there is an international scandal because some people have created an atomic bomb with the citizenship by investment program for decades. That is a fact. Long before I came, I am the only one that had the courage to denounce it and to expose it, to the proper authority where the law was broken.
What nonsense, my Straight Dog family. Philippe Martinez said he sent me the investment agreement. What nonsense, he's taking credit for that. Well, Philippe Martinez, you said you listen to the programs and you record them. But do something for us tonight. Send us the contract you signed in Nevis, where $150,000 US or $400,000 per month came from the Nevis Island Treasury to maintain you in Nevis in some strange arrangement, some arrangement to produce movies. $400,000 per month. Yet, that agreement I just read says otherwise. But how come Philippe Martinez, listen carefully, how come Philippe Martinez, you did not send me this notice of voluntary dismissal in your RICO lawsuit? I know all the time, we said all the time, it was a farce. You had nothing. You just scandalized St. Kitts and Nevis, scandalized the citizenship by investment program, and had nothing but a bag of mouth. You moved from a chess player to a bogeyman, you said. Bogeyman, monster that you are, Philippe Martinez. And look at this. Why didn't you send me this? You came on your Impact Studio or Impact Media, whatever it's called. And all of a sudden, you have now filed in the court. MSR Media St. Kitts Nevis Limited, et al., and others as plaintiffs. Case number 8-24CV, 1248 KKM AAS versus Lescan and others, defendants. And you filed your notice of voluntary dismissal pursuant to FRCP, which reads, pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, 41A, etc. And it states, plaintiffs MSR Media Limited, MSR Hotels and Company Limited, MSR Media International LLC, and Philippe Martinez, is that the crook? Yes, and Philippe Martinez hereby give notice that the above caption action is voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. None of the defendants have filed an answer or motion for summary judgment. Why, Philippe, are you finishing with this case? Pourquoi, Monsieur Philippe? Tu allais? Pourquoi? Dis-le-moi, pourquoi? Philippe Martinez, why didn't you send me? Pourquoi tu ne m'envoies ça? This certificate of service, I hereby certified that on December 12, 2024, I electronically filed the foregoing with the clerk of the court using CM/ECF system, my Straight Dog family, signed by Lysandra Ortiz, your lead counsel. Philippe Martinez, why didn't you send me this notice of voluntary dismissal? Why have you scandalized our country and scandalized our program only to withdraw this stupid, absurd case you had? All the bank accounts you talk about. Why, Philippe? Because you are just what you are. You haven't changed, even though you spent some time in a French jail. Philippe Martinez, you've convinced Terence Michael July. You've threatened him. But Terence Michael July is so stupid. Terence Michael July is so stupid and allowed this French fraudster to scare him into writing 184 citizens with a threat to revoke their passports. Well, ask Dr. July, what about the remaining 21,000 citizens that were approved? Are you going to write them too? Terence Michael July, where there's smoke, there's fire. Terence Michael July is so stupid and motivated by a monster. Or he called himself a bogeyman who was first introduced as a chess player, he said. But this government, this cabinet, needs to be removed immediately. But it's important, my Straight Dog family, to also consider the long-term consequences of that action. Let us establish a clear strategy of unity and commitment to peaceful methods, which are essential to ensuring that the eventual transition leads to a better future here in St. Kitts and Nevis. As a people, if we are united in our desire for change and we are willing to take strategic, organized action, it will be possible to bring about a government that truly represents the best interests of all the citizens and foster prosperity, justice, and accountability. When is R.A. Peter Jenkins going to get his letter of appointment from the CIU as project engineer on the correctional facility? When? The prison facility is ongoing. Caribbean Galaxy is obligated to pay its CBI fees, which I understand it did. The over $600 million you collected, Terence Michael Jew, came from the CBI fees paid by Caribbean Galaxy. Their obligation to St. Kitts and Nevis is to complete the project and hand it over to the government. That is their obligation. So why are you not appointing Jenkins officially as the project engineer? Avoid the social, political, or international fallout, or any more of it, for that matter, that your actions have caused, as they are not properly managed or regulated. It's easy for people to feel that these funds from the CBI are being misused or mismanaged, further exacerbating frustration. But, my Straight Dog family, in conclusion, we are on a dark road to disaster. And something smells like smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. Shut down the cabinet. Let's agree on that tonight. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family. And I am not going to change it. I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And my Straight Dog family, the chess player, the bogeyman, the fraudster has withdrawn his case. A voluntary dismissal he has asked for. Do you believe that? How could we believe that, my Straight Dog family? But let's go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Before we do, at 6 minutes past 9 o'clock, I always like to implore you that when I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, in the things we say and or do, ensure that they are beneficial to all concerned. And in doing and saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 12 past 9, I say good night to our first caller. Caller, you live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Hello, good night, my dear.
Deportation. If justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Because in this world is done without the price. Nothing in this world is done without the price. I repeat, if justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without the price. Have a great day.
I think the world is done without the price. Thank you very much, my dear. If justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without a price. I think I got that right. The world is done without a price. I always like these quotations, my Straight Talk family. Yes, it's 8 past the 9 o'clock hour. Lines are open, my Straight Talk family. We're entertaining your calls and your emails. I had another caller online, and for some reason that caller didn't want to hold. I'm sorry about that, but the lines are now free. Caller, you can get back to the program. And like I said, we are looking at our themes for tonight, which my thesis, I should say, for tonight: where there's smoke, there's fire. Shut down cabinet. Caller, you're live.
Good night.
Good night, my dear brother. How art thou tonight?
Well, I hear what's going down with your parties.
I am peaceful. I am peaceful. What about you?
Let me find, when I called just a little while ago, I just only hear the phone cut right out. But no problem. This is what I have to say tonight. It is. Revelation chapter 22. And here it is in verse 15. Without dogs and sorcerer and whoremonger and murderer and adulteress and without whosoever loveth and make it a liar. Okay? You hear it, okay? Read it for yourself. Revelation chapter 22, verse 15. So, the situation is it, Mr. Patrick. You don't got no time to listen to liars. All me want to dig in the word of God. That we are in the last and closing days. You see what things are happening, say again? We need to pray. And the born again believers, them supposed to intercede for the country. And so, God is going to intervene. At this time, I want to tell you something now. So give thanks unto the Lord for His truth. His mercy endureth forever.
That's right.
And Psalm 41, blessed is the man that considereth the poor in the time of trouble. That is not a time to really wait. This is time to pray.
Okay.
See you, Prophet.
Thank you for your spiritual interventions, Miss Bible man. It's 12 past the 9 o'clock hour, my Straight Talk family, and you may have just joined me, and we are looking at our theme, our thesis for tonight, our short dissertation, where there's smoke, there's fire. Let's shut down the cabinet. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Okay. Hello. Good evening, Patrick.
Who is this? Mr. Culture?
Yes, Mr. Radical.
How art thou, my brother? It's so nice to hear.
Well, yeah, man. Thou art great. Good evening. Good evening, brother Straight Talk. And all who listens to Straight Talk. And they miss my voice. I am here still kicking. The only little problem that I have is one of my ears had a little minor problem, and it advanced to something more serious. But I'm getting over it, thank God. But I listen to Straight Talk still, and by the help of God, Culture should be ready by next week Thursday to come out blazing. Patches?
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
Good to hear you.
Yes, man. Thank you. This vagabond Martinez, this fraudster who committed crime and was up there in the French jail, not prison, jail, and come out and come now here in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis and try to mash up the little country. He need somebody like Mr. Bradshaw to deal with, because Mr. Bradshaw really done fling he back where he's supposed to go. Look what he come in the country here come do. Come tarnish the name of St. Kitts Nevis with the worthless, scampish behavior. Of whatever he talking about, accusing the country of. He don't get the $150,000 to put into OTI when OTI should have been sold to somebody.
I'm not too certain if he got the $150,000 to put into OTI. Let's be careful with that.
Yeah, okay.
He got
whatever money.
He got $150,000 from the NIA Treasury for subsistence and other things in Nevis. When they were doing the movies, I'm not certain if he got that for. I cannot confirm he got that for OTI.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he should have never entered the Federation.
That is true.
Look at Barbados. Barbados is the most easterly island in the Caribbean. And the Prime Minister of Barbados decide by now, we do not want you here, go ahead. But he with the fraudster talks, he outsmart the snake in Nevis, and the snake fell out the arm, look across. Come in, man, come in here. But he was supposed to check that fraudster background. Check him, because look why he come in with a big smile and the fake information to get into our business. And now he want to put us in purgatory. But I know he need to get out of here. Like yesterday, get him out. He has the right here. Couple of months ago, my good friend of the village, Ashley Allos say, he should not be in St. Kitts, come mash up St. Kitts. And I agree with Ashley from the time Ashley said so. And now look what he do. Put St. Kitts name in a kind of thing. And then he come talking about voluntarily with himself or whatever it is. Get him out of here tomorrow. Prime Minister Terence July, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Well,
that is, go ahead.
No, he's not in St. Kitts actually.
Okay.
It's not him.
And then all what he do with our passport and tarnish the name of St. Kitts with the passport them, you straighten out that. Straighten out that and take away all opportunities where he got to do things here in St. Kitts with the Federation. I'll be ready for Straight Talk by next week, Thursday, God willing.
Thank you, my brother. Good to hear you. And be well. I saw my sister a couple of days ago, yesterday, right? So
yeah. Which one? Sorry.
My sister.
Sorry about that.
My sister.
Or your sister?
You don't,
Okay.
you don't know my sister?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something.
You don't get the food tomorrow, you know. All right.
I'm gonna tell you something. You got some men, they have a lot of children all over the place, eh? Some got one, some got two, some got more than two. But out of the many children a father has, one gonna be a Jezebel and a Judas. Read between the lines, not on the line. For the sake of money, Judas sell Jesus Christ with 30 pieces of silver.
Okay.
Well, that is an example for we who are living here today to look at and never put ourselves as a Judas. I'll tell you more next week, Thursday. Okay. Have a good night.
Have a good night, my dear brother. Culture, that's our straight talk. What must I call him? Straight talk, calypso, straight talk, elder, straight talk, everything. Culture went missing, had a problem, he said, with his ears a few weeks ago. So we are happy that he's back with straight talk. And I'm not certain, I think someone told me they didn't hear our first caller. And if that's so, we do apologize for that. But let's try and intermingle with our emailers as well, if that I can use that term, while we take our calls. And this email reads, let me take this call, I'll get back to the emails. Caller, you're live. Hello.
How you do?
I am peaceful. That sounds like the major.
Why don't you just reading something? Because it seems like maybe it seems to be a professor. Not to do magic, but to teach people.
Okay.
And I think I just got a thing here that I thought I should share with you. And it deals with truth.
Okay.
TRUTH, isn't it? And you listen?
I'm listening. I always listen to you.
Yeah. And it goes like this. If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music, however, measure or journey away. You get it? Go far away. Either he stick with the music, or he treasure, or go far away. That is what it is. And that was written by Henry Davis Thoreau. You know him? He was a big man in this thing. These professors, I had to deal with these people because they're getting smarter and smarter every day. And you having you here, you're keeping me very posted educationally, man.
I'm humbled, my brother.
Yeah, you're keeping me educationally. And let me make it emphatically clear for you that you could get it stick in your cranium, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps he hears a different drummer. And let him step to the music, however, measure or far away. You got to change your step. You hear they say, change your direction, but not your formation. Left or right, turn me both turn, or squad will retire. Right? Thank you.
Okay, soldier. Thank you. Fallout, Major. Fallout. Very interesting. The man doesn't keep pace with his companions. It's because he learns or he hears a different drummer. I think that's what. Let him step to the music he hears, however measured or far away. Well, as an old cadet, I know a little different. Greetings, Patches. I want to bring this serious matter to your attention. It is alleged that thousands of dollars are missing from the school banking program. I was told that this isn't the first incident. The director of cooperatives and her staff is not doing their jobs. Then the director makes demands to the Ministry of Education to resolve the issue. The Ministry of Education doesn't have the oversight, nor do they get reports with the school banking system. But the Ministry of Education has to resolve this issue ever so often. That department collects the books every time school closes to do their so-called reviews. One time they didn't realize that over $30,000 was missing until 2 to 3 years after the incident. So what are they really doing when they collect the books? Now another issue came up, and the director of cooperatives is demanding that the Ministry of Education address the matter. The Ministry of Education officials don't report to her and shouldn't have to clean up a mess that she and her staff created. Years ago, the credit unions were removed from the Department of Cooperatives and placed under the FSRC. I believe that it's time for the school banking system to move to. There will be better management. Minister Douglas needs to sort out this issue with the director and her staff and inform the parents about what is happening to their monies, because parents sacrifice their hard-earned monies to save at these schools, and they should know what is happening with their monies. Reads this email. This other email reads, now that he contemptuously and hastily opened the country for the free smoking of marijuana, a decision that upset and angered many police officers, that the officers are turning a blind eye to smoking in public. Designated areas for smoking are, as prescribed by law, is a joke. Even some officers are engaged in the smoking activity. It is completely out of control, with some passengers and bus drivers smoking while traversing. The Prime Minister now finds it necessary to advise drivers not to use any substance while driving. Too late, Dr. July, is the cry. Reads this other email. Good night or good evening, Ambassador. Hope all is well with you and family. Yes, and hope all is well with you and family as well. Please allow me to convey sincere condolences to the family of those persons who died as a result of those horrific accidents. My concern tonight is the article by PM Jew's article. Dr. Jew encourages the region to look to St. Kitts Nevis as a model of innovation. Seriously? After a little over 2 years as Prime Minister? He's dwelling on the former Prime Minister Harris. In all my years, Dr. Douglas has never spent all of that time on the former administration PAM. St. Kitts is heavily dependent on CBI, and so Prime Minister Jew and his cabinet seems not to realize that there needs to be employment for the citizens. Nothing is happening but just promises. Continue to be safe. One love. Reads this other email. Hi, Patches. Greetings. Let me be first to you and the listeners, to wish you and the listeners, I think that should read, a Merry Christmas 2024 and a blessed New Year 2025, if we live to see them within the high cost of living and the depression we are living under. What is happening with the RICO case? As I've heard something which is confusing. Please explain what is going on. I will listen for your explanation. Reads this email, and we do want to wish you same happy returns as for Christmas, and hope we will have a blessed New Year. In terms of the RICO case, as I just posted on your television screens or your screens, Philippe Martinez, the fraudster, French fraudster as he's well known, filed what he called a voluntary, what is called a notice of voluntary dismissal. And I believe in having a short discussion with legal mind, very well and sound, very sound legal mind, he can revisit this case, if I can use that term. But the MSR hotels and MSR media did in fact file that voluntary notice which is on your screens for a dismissal of the case. So the case is no longer in court. It's withdrawn from the civil court, so to speak, if that's the right term. And you can read from the screen the notice of voluntary dismissal. And it says, pursuant to the federal rules of civil procedure, and gives the numbers. Plaintiffs MSR Media St. Kitts Nevis Limited, MSR Hotels and Company Limited, MSR Media International LLC, and Philippe Martinez hereby give notice that the above captioned action is voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. And I think that last word there, without prejudice, gives him the option to bring it back to court. I stand to be corrected. But yes, there was nothing to this case. All Philippe Martinez did was to scandalize our country, scandalize our program, and he really, just like Barbados did, he really should be declared a persona non grata. He should not be allowed to come to St. Kitts ever again, because he's not a friend of St. Kitts and Nevis. And someone made mention earlier of Bradshaw, and surely Bradshaw would have having gone a long time ago. And Bradshaw must be rolling his grave when he saw Terence Michael July instructed his permanent secretary to write this letter. But let's go to the lines. We get back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
President, good night, Brother Patrice.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, I'd just like to say greetings to everyone listening to the program and the brothers and sisters listening via the World Wide Web in the diaspora. This is Rascolungi, the son of the Mau Mau. No, what you're basically saying is that Mr. Martinez withdraw the RICO case?
Yes, he did, yes.
Very interesting, because I was listening his podcast last night, not all of it, some of it. And what this guy is really saying is that he's talking down to us like we are slaves. You know what I'm saying? And the way how, especially you, he's saying that how you get this information because he's saying it to a friend of yours.
Yes, he said that.
Right? So it's very interesting that he said he withdraw the case because, I mean, the way he was sounding is like, you know what I mean? Our people here is like, he's the master and we are the slaves. Mm-hmm. But like I always tell you, my brother, it's time for us to trash out our differences because it's like the pot calling the kettle black. When you look at all, because what I'm saying is that all of us are in the same boat. The man have no caste dispersions on our nation, St. Kitts and Nevis, Liamega and Orly. I know people going to look at us in a very bad light because he said last night, this is an international scandal. Am I right, Aram?
Yes, he said that, yes.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to show you is that this man want to not only tarnish the nation, but our people in general. So I'm saying to our people, it's time for us to sit down and trash out our differences. I was listening to a program earlier today on a different station, and the back and forth between this PAM and Labour rivalry. It's colonialism. We cannot continue that anymore, because what I'm saying is that the geopolitical situation is changing rapidly every day.
That's true.
You know? And it has a serious impact. And let's look what happened in Syria. The government in Syria has fallen. Right? And what I'm saying to our people is that what Israel is saying is that the whole of that region belongs to them here. And they're going to take it step by step and one by one. No, that's going to have a serious impact on us with the fall of Syria.
Is it the whole region or just Golden Heights?
No, not only the whole region, but the whole global geopolitical situation. Okay. You see, these things have impact on us and how people don't understand. My contention is the reason for the sluggishness of our economy here. This thing started with COVID. COVID mashed up our economy, not only our economy, but the whole Western global economy. Because I don't know, you know about Mr. Brzezinski. I think he was Secretary of State under one of those presidents in the United States. He has written a book, The Grand Chessboard. And he's saying that the power that controls Eurasia, right? Once you control Eurasia, you control the world, because that's where most of the development, right, is going to be taking place. I don't necessarily agree with him, because Africa got more natural resources than what he's talking about Eurasia. It's just that they're not developed so that we can control them. But what I'm trying to show you, he said, once you control Eurasia, Africa is subordinated. This is the thing our people have to understand. Look what is happening in the United States. There's an attack on the African Socialist Party, where they're accusing the chairman of the African Socialist Party, Brother Omali, of being an agent of Russia. They shut down the African stream. Secretary Blinken shut down the African stream, saying he's the RSI agent of Russia. So what they're doing, they're demonizing us. Anytime we try to maneuver and control our destiny, they come up with this boogeyman, just like Mr. Martinez. You call him a boogeyman. That's what these people... Huh?
He said he's a boogeyman.
Okay, good. So what I'm trying to show our people, my brother, this rivalry and bickering amongst ourselves, calling each other names, we got to sit down, and this 2025 is around the corner. And I'm saying to our people, if you don't want to sit down and trash out our differences and come up with a national program for national consciousness for us to move forward, then, you know, you're not protecting African people interests and black people. That's my position. So I'm saying for 2025, we have to atone for our sins, repent. We have sinned against each other because of colonialism. You know, I'm saying it's time for true African liberation. Because we are African people. You know, you people like to talk about democracy. If democracy got us in these problems here, I'm talking about true African liberation, my brother. So I'm saying, I'm using Straight Talk now as a vehicle for 2025. Brothers, I'm sending out a call for us to sit down, trash out our difference. You call it a truth and reconciliation, right? That's what you call it.
Yes, well, reconciliation, but there should be truth.
Exactly. Yeah. Because we can't move forward unless we repent and talk about truth.
Yes.
So I'm sending out a challenge to our nation. All the major players, everybody in the country. Let me sit down and come up with a program to move our people forward in a progressive way. That's all I'm saying. Because I was going to read the RICA Act. Remember, sometime I asked you about the RICA Act, right? And you said that it's a civil lawsuit. But I have the RICA Act here and it covers civil lawsuits. You see what I'm saying?
It's I was saying the Martinez case is a civil lawsuit, but there's a criminal component and a civil component of the act.
Exactly, but it covers all of them.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
An individual can't take a criminal action. It has to be the government.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. He's an agent. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Because they did it to us in the United States. I don't know if you ever heard about the New York 8. The December 12 movement. Right? We were talking about struggling for black people's human rights. They said we are criminal organizations and charge us with RICO. So what I'm saying is that the criminalizing, just like I said, there is no political prisoners in the United States. Right? There's tons of black political prisoners still locked down in jail. Right? Because they struggle to liberate black people. But they charge them with RICO. So what I'm saying is that you're not an organization that is fighting for human rights. You're a criminal organization. And that's the same thing they want to do with the CBI. But I think I've taken up a lot of your time, brother. But so I like to say, Jamoja, what Granny said, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kujichagalea, self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Near purpose. Kuumba, creativity, imani, faith. Those are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Thank you, my brother. What Granny said, it's time for us to unite. That's the only solution to this pollution. Give thanks.
Yes, give thanks, my dear brother. Always welcome your interventions. And yes, you are so right. It's time for us to reconcile, reconcile things and come together. It's very important that we do come together. Very important. Patches reads this email. When the talk had come up about this case with Martinez, Snake Brantley and the San Negro Lebanese had so much to say with their excitement, as though they had something to catch Timothy Harris. But God does not sleep. What a disgrace for the Snake and the Lebanese. They ought to hang their head, or their heads, or their faces, I should say, in shame. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, that is.
Yes, sir.
After hearing Kalunji, me smoke gone, and me fire throwing sparks. I have to come back in here because you don't just put on plaster upon a wound and think you're going to heal. You got to find out the cause of that what bring that wound there. And since July gone in there, 2 years and 4 months, he should have keep going forward and look forward, and especially to what he promised in the campaign, what he going to do. And he condemned things that was done by the former administration. He said, remember he cost the $500 and he said he's going to bring it up to $1,500. And he bring it up, he make it worse. So therefore, if you're going to take the food out of people's mouth, and you never promise to do that, you promise to give more food, what can you expect? People going to use who cause the starvation and the problem. Joe is the man who's supposed to stop it and move forward and let everybody follow. He's the one up in the wheel room, the captain room. All the sailors of them can't go up there. Go in there, go say they're going to sail the boat. He's the captain, he got to sail the boat and show us well, then he know where he going with the country. But he ain't doing that. He keep looking back on cussing Timothy and former administration and then not living up to his promises. So that is the problem here in St. Kitts. That's why you got Labour cussing Pam and Pam cuss Labour and PLP and CCM and are going to be a cuss one another because he's the leader, not a follower. Thank you, Patches.
Thank you very much. My Straight Dog family, sometime last week, I posted a copy of this letter. I refer to it as a letter of extortion, signed, written by or coming from the Ministry of National Security and signed by the permanent secretary in that ministry, Glenroy Freshface Blanchett. And we understand that this letter was dispatched to some 181 or 184 persons. And it seemed all to be about this Caribbean galaxy, you know. And I'm no defender of galaxy, but I like to present the facts. And the facts are, any investor or any approved public benefactor, as they have the PBO right now, under the Creative Arts Center, for example, or the Bassi High School, pre-Conco, for example, on the Bassi High School, we haven't been told or informed about the cost of the Bassi High School, but we understand that there are some 1,200 units approved or shares approved under that particular option. And just like Caribbean Galaxy pre-Conco has the authority to sell those shares and just pay the government fees, it's the same arrangement. So when this letter is written and saying pay monies to an account in Dubai, a government account, the money don't belong to the government. And the legislation is clear. You have to be guided by the legislation. All that is required of the benefactor is to pay the fees, construct the facility, and hand it over to the government. That's all. There's no other obligations. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Liburd, a few persons called me and said they didn't hear my quotation.
Yes,
so they asked me to repeat it.
So I'm told. I am awfully apologize for that.
Okay.
Yes, you can repeat it, my dear. I'm happy you called back.
If justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without a price. I repeat, if justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without a price. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening, and thank you for calling back. I inadvertently did not have your line open. I'm told, so I'm happy you called back. With that quotation always gives us some real thought-provoking quotations. If justice is denied, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without a price. Do you believe that, caller? You're live.
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, man. Good evening, man. How you doing tonight?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. I know sometimes when the callers come on, you say, I want you to talk clear and loud so the whole world can hear you.
Yes.
I'm about to ask you to do the same thing in regard to the RICO case that you say Philippe Martinez withdrew. For those of us who have been following these cases or whatever, you still didn't say which one of those two RICO cases was withdrawn. Was it the one in the international USA or the one that was local in Bastille?
We don't have a local RICO. The RICO.
No, the one that was, but I believe some distinction need to be made. there was a case that was in Tampa, Florida, right?
But that's the RICO case. That's the only, the RICO has a law.
Okay, so that's the one. So that's the one you're saying was withdrawn.
Yes, but let's establish there's no RICO in St. Kitts. There's a judicial review. The RICO
there's a judicial review, yes.
RICO law is a U.S. law. It's not a St. Kitts law.
Okay, got you. I'm following you clearly.
It should be in the mix.
I'm following you. I'm following you clearly, but I'm just saying to differentiate for the people, who may not be following that closely. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, there's a judicial review in St.
The judicial review is locally, yes.
Yes.
That judicial review is still ongoing.
As far as I know, the Attorney General attempted to strike it out, but it was not struck out.
Okay.
But it's still
so that's
on the court docket as far as I know.
Yeah, okay. So there go the distinction what I'm asking for. There's a judicial review locally in Pasteur, and then there's that RICO case in Tampa, Florida. Where was that filed in the USA?
Yes, in Tampa.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification. I hope everybody hear you loud and clear now. And my other question would be, these letters that were sent out, right, to those persons who got passports when underselling side, and the Prime Minister is trying to get monies. They're trying to get monies from the difference or whatever, right?
So you said, yeah.
So my question to you is that if those persons don't pay up, what's going to happen to that project? And then I'll just listen after the ear for that response. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot for your contribution as well. I believe these were the words I used when I saw that letter first, right? And I did try to make the point that it's like ABC. Caribbean Galaxy in 2021, I think it was, applied under the AIO, it was the Alternative Investment Option. And the Alternative Investment Option was something new. And they were approved and granted authority to sell 5,500 shares, I think it was. That's A. B. Caribbean Galaxy is obligated, and still is obligated, to build this capital infrastructure to wit a correctional facility. Everyone calls it a prison. And C, the other obligation is when it's completed to hand it over to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, A, B, C. And I forgot, once they have sold on the B, sold the shares or units, they must pay the fees as prescribed by the legislation, which are $25,000, if my memory serves me right, for the first application, for the applicant, and their spouse would pay $15,000, and two dependents under 18 years would pay, I believe, $10,000 each. That gets you, per family of four, $60,000 US dollars. And that's what is paid into the CIU, and CIU transferred into the consolidated fund that gives us our fees from the CBI. Government don't get any money. It will be a very interesting case to see Jew using the advice of Philippe Martinez and his advisors like the Gada and the Wilkin, who he said is his friend and advisor. But if any money is owed, the money is owed to Caribbean Galaxy. And it may not be something you like to hear. But based on the legislation, government can't own that money. Government has an arrangement. And if Galaxy had an application, sold units to me, and I short pay Galaxy, then Galaxy must claim the money that I short paid. Government can't claim that for me. It just doesn't add up. It just does not make any sense to me. And this is just extortion. And the thing about what Dr. July is doing in the process of mashing up the program, 181 or 184 letters he has sent out. Apparently, Martinez got this from one of the providers or international marketing agents, whatever their capacity, and gave them all the application, the invoices, and so on, and they're claiming that. But he said 22,000, or he signed 22,000 CORs. So what's happening to the other 21,000? What is Jew doing? Is Jew smoking something? Is he drinking something? Or is he eating something? These are some questions that are fair questions to ask. Because he's just not acting normal. He's not acting normal. But again, the notice of voluntary dismissal was filed today in the Tampa, in the Middle District, the United States District Court, Middle District of Florida in Tampa Division. MSR Media St. Kitts Nevis Limited, MSR Hotels, MSR Media International LLC, and Philippe Martinez gave notice that they have voluntarily dismissed without prejudice that case brought against, it says Lescan and others, et al. I would anticipate that et al. Means and others, meaning Caribbean Galaxy, Timothy Harris, Farron Lawrence, and this guy from St. Lucia, don't remember his name right now, but they have this, he has voluntarily withdrawn the case. But there was no case. Philippe Martinez is up to something from day one to get money or make a movie, but his movies don't sell anyway. So he's going to lose all over because nobody gonna, his movie, he never made, what they call him, a box movie? What the term they use? Tell me somebody. But he's going to be a loser all the while because he's always a loser. He's a bogeyman, he said. I heard him say he's a bogeyman. And he tried to impress somebody by saying this, my Straight Talk family.
Speaking of that, I want to give a message to the Mr. Jan Patches and Mr. Wally at the St. Kitts Times and every social commentator. We record and watch everything that you say. We have never responded to the fake news and fake allegation that you've said. But I do believe that you love your country and you have a moral responsibility. So let me give you one message. How do you think that you got the investment contract between MSR and the government? I sent it to you. I sent it to someone close to you and told him, send it. Because I believe that the day of transparency has now started. And we have to release everything. And I got nothing to hide. So when you go on your Straight Talk family and say, oh, we have the information, you have the information because of me. I gave you that. And if you want to call me Jan Patches, I can give you more information that will make you very humble. Very humble. You, the social commentator in St. Kitts and Nevis, you now have a moral responsibility to stop with the fake news, to stop with the tribal politicum, to protect that candidate over that candidate, because right now there is an international scandal because some people have created an atomic bomb with the citizenship by investment program for decades. That is a fact. Long before I came, I am the only one that had the courage to denounce it and to expose it to the proper authority where the law was broken.
Just trying to extort money. Well, why don't you send me the contract, Philippe Martinez, that you signed in Nevis? Tell us who were your lawyers in Nevis. Which law firm you use? Was it Daniel Brantley Associates? Were you dip into places? All this information we need. Tell us about Kinnison Hill and your arrangements with Terence Michael July. Be transparent, as you say. You can't scare anybody on street talk. You can't. Philippe Martinez, you are a loser. You have lost this first round. I wish you luck in your second round. We need the information as well from the judicial review. We need it on street talk because we believe that the government must be transparent. Just like the issue units for the desalination plant. Tell us how many have you issued to Royal Utilities? How many for the Creative Arts Center? How many for the Basti High School? These are things we ought to know. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
What is a pleasant good evening to you. How are you doing?
I am peaceful, my dear. Yourself?
I'm doing fine too. I'm doing good.
Yes, I can see those dimples. What's on your mind?
As you say, the smoke is there and the fire is ready to come.
Yes.
Well, a lot more smoke and fire to come now. I do not know if I really was paying attention when Dr. Pepper and his gang went in go swaying of the past. They're missing the words them and all. They're so anxious. They're missing the words them and all. So from that, we know that we have trouble in thinking. And Saturday morning, bright and early, 6:30, he ready to go swaying. So we know that we have trouble and our hand, but we ain't paying attention. I listen them. And I said, well, definitely, things is going to be in trouble. Just the way how they're talking. Some of them can't even call the words them good and what's not. And you see, it's trouble we in. Saturday morning, break and all the day don't even go, get quiet and ready to swear in. The man ready to go put your hand on top of the treasury. So expect anything better. But here Martinez are like, so we don't have to surprise about Martinez. So Martinez I say, you know, see, they must set him up all the time. And he don't even know that he gets set up. He go on in just so far, talk fast, so when you what point, and do not know what he's saying. So what we expect from Dr. Pepper, liar. He not see nothing yet. More yet to come on.
True.
This all the piece are yet, you know. But when you see your boy something, look out, you have to pay the price for it. So let me better hand and wait for him because a lot more yet to come because of the way how they rented and the way how they gone in here strictly for the treasury. But you got to take 33%, ain't plant a piece tree yet, and they want to tell us, oh my God, what is your pleasant night to hear?
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear. Always good to hear you. Good night, Patches. Reads this email. The RICO case, did you know why Martinez dropped the case? Just asking. Very interesting question. Well, if you had to ask me, I don't think he had a case, period. He was just on a witch hunt from day one, you know, want to get into people's accounts. He said he had this, and he said he had that. But all of a sudden, he dropped the case. But let me just, for full disclosure, say what is written on the affidavit, I think it's called. It says, is voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. I can put it on your screens, matter of fact, so we can read it together. It says, voluntarily dismissed without prejudice. That's on the fourth line. And it goes on, none of the defendants has filed an answer or motion for summary judgment. Why should they? He had no case. He had no case. So if that answers your question, my Straight Dog family, it says, pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure, and it gives the numbers, plaintiffs MSR Media St. Kitts Nevis Limited, MSR Hotels and Company Limited, MSR Media International LLC, and Philippe Martinez hereby give notice that the above caption action is voluntary dismiss without prejudice. None of the defendants has filed an answer or motion for summary judgment. Very interesting position. But my Straight Dog family, as we wind down tonight's programming, I'll just get my emails and make sure that I dispense of all my emails so I can make certain that we're all heard. And this final email, or the two emails, good night, Mr. Liburd. I saw July going into National Bank at approximately 6 p.m. and came out at about 7:30 p.m. this evening. I wonder what he went in there to do, and why does he need to vehicle like he's some kind of president, waste of gas and taxpayers' money. Also, last night they were at the grounds for the New Smart or Climate Smart or whatever it is hospital. Looks like the $800 million loan they plan to build the hospital with. They can't even run the dumb hospital. We have much less smart hospital, reads this other email. And my final email for tonight, Patches, you are correct. If the case is withdrawn without prejudice, they can be brought back up for hearing. I think that the government should seize the OTI and take Martinez to court because he has put the country your help for no apparent reason. Patches, the letter which was written asking the passport holders to pay for whatever mistake the government made. If the passport holders do not pay or do what they are told, what can they do to the passport holders? Philippe Martinez made himself a fool. Well, they have threatened to revoke the passports, but that would be a very interesting case, my Straight Dog family. Times like these, I wish I did law, but that's not for me. My grandmother used to say, why don't you become a lawyer? I didn't know at the time what she was preaching. But as we wind down tonight's program in my Straight Dog family, for those who joined us late, we look tonight at our thesis, where there's smoke, there's fire. Shut down the cabinet. And in a nutshell, I made the point tonight that there's a smell of smoke. It's like sensing something bad or problematic, such as political turmoil, poor decision making, or an impending disaster. it clearly expresses the fact that things are going wrong. And shutdown cabinet must be seen as a consequence of the failure or mismanagement of this July administration. We are facing a deeply troubling situation in St. Kitts and Nevis, where poor decision making, a lack of transparency, and questionable governance are creating significant challenges for our people. In addition to the cost of living, we can't get water, our electricity is being interrupted. There's a feeling of something burning, and that symbolizes a sense of corruption or mismanagement, particularly in relation to funds raised through the Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI. The Jew Labour administration lacks leadership and accountability, and that has eroded public trust and has led to a sense of helplessness amongst the citizens. The CBI program, which was designed to attract foreign direct investment in exchange for citizenship, is no longer a potential source, real source of revenue, all because of one convicted fraudster who was approved as the first public benefactor. He had this hotel agreement, an agreement as well to sell shares about movies and films. And instead of getting the hotel up and running, my Straight Talk family, till today, the OTI is closed. He was allowed to raise some $52.5 million, almost $140 million for a hotel he spent $8 million on. So he could have made some money. But instead of getting the hotel up and running and his projects up and running, he's trying to extort money from the country and from Caribbean Galaxy. And as I close, I mean no offense to anyone, but Straight Talk has to tell you the truth. Caribbean Galaxy have delivered. They have delivered a hotel. I think it's a 200 or 300 room hotel, costing over $400 million US. What has Philippe Martinez delivered? All he has delivered is heartaches and scandals on our country. So whether we like to hear it or not, I have to talk the truth, and Straight Talk will bring you the truth, my Straight Talk family. Always. Bringing the facts. And the French cook don't like that. So who is trying to intimidate about being some boogeyman? I am neither a boogeyman nor a chess player. I like dominoes, Philippe Martinez. Let's play a game of domino.
Speaking of that, I want to give a message to the Mr. Jan Patches and Mr. Wally at the Sankey Times and every social commentator. We record and watch everything that you say. We have never responded to the fake news and fake allegation that you've said. But I do believe that you love your country and you have a moral responsibility. So let me give you one message. How do you think that you got the investment contract between MSR and the government? I sent it to you. I sent it to someone close to you and told him, send it. Because I believe that the day of transparency has now started. And we have to release everything. And I got nothing to hide. So when you go on your straight talk family and say, oh, we have the information, you have the information because of me. I gave you that. And if you want to call me Jan Patches, I can give you more information that will make you very humble. Very humble. You, the social commentator in St. Kitts and Nevis, you now have the moral responsibility to stop with the fake news, to stop with the tribal politicum, to protect that candidate over that candidate, because right now, there is an international scandal because some people have created an atomic bomb with the citizenship by investment program for decades. That is a fact. Long before I came, I am the only one that had the courage to denounce it and to expose it to the proper authority where the law was broken.
Is this fake news too, Philippe Martinez? Your voluntary dismissal of your RICO lawsuit? I don't need to call you. Not at all. If you send the international agreement, then send the contract you signed in Nevis that your company benefited from, monies from the NIA Treasury. How come you did not send this notice of voluntary dismissal? But Terence Michael July, you've got him in your palms because he's so silly, he's daft, and allowed this French fraudster to scare him into writing 184 citizens with a threat to revoke their passports. So what about the remaining 21,000 citizens that you approved, Dr. July? Terence Michael July. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Terence Michael July is so stupid and motivated by a monster, a bogeyman, he called himself, Philippe, who first said he was a chess player. This government needs to be removed immediately. But let's do it in a calculated manner, because it's important to consider the long-term consequences of the action. Let's develop a clear strategy of unity and commitment to peaceful methods, which are essential to ensuring the eventual transition leads to a better future, my straight dog family. Meantime, Mr. James, Governor at the CIU, why don't you ensure that R.A. Peter Jenkins gets his official letter of appointment, as he was engaged by the former chairman of the Board of Governors, Sylvester Anthony, as the project manager for the, or project engineer for the correctional facility. Caribbean Galaxy is obligated to pay its CBI fees. Have they been paid? Caribbean Galaxy is obligated to complete the project and hand it over to the government. That is the obligation. So avoid the social, political, or international fallout, Terence Michael July and Garth Lucifer Wilkin, that your actions continue to cause, as they are not properly managed or properly regulated. It's easy for people to feel that these funds from the CBI are being misused or mismanaged, further exacerbating frustration. But right now we are on a dark road to disaster, and something smells like smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. shutdown cabinet. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I'm not going to change it. If justice is denied, according to that quotation, let the law of karma take the ride. Nothing in this world is done without a price. Until we connect on Monday, my Straight Talk family, I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the viewers, the listeners, those of you who sent emails, and those of you who called. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's speed. We will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Go to church. If you can't find a church, let's go to Zion Moravian at the top of Victoria Road. I'll be there, God's willing, on Sunday. But whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye until we connect on Monday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees, the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me